Welcome Gemini to your in-depth monthly forecast for August 2025. The chances are from the 9th through to the 15th you're going to have a significant opportunity. Now that opportunity could be to get together with people you're really comfortable with and enjoy really good food and wine. Or it could mean that you are going to have a slice of financial serendipity. But the key to progress this month is actually being realistic, because although the two planets of fortune do combine at that point, and it could be very positive for you, as we begin this month, there is a clash to Venus, the planet of money, but also of self-worth, and obviously of relating, in the part of your situation to do with values. And there may actually be a discordant note between you and a friend as you come into August. And the key, therefore, is to use your communicational skills with great aplomb. And as you enter August, so your ruler is in a retrograde. Now, as we came to the end of July, there was a cazimi, but it was an inferior conjunction because of that Mercury retrograde. So rush in any important interactions, plans, discussions is not the way forwards. And yet there is a part of you that could be somehow or another rather frustrated as we come into August because of the role of Mars. Mars is clashing with Venus, but it's also broadly opposite both Saturn and Neptune. But it will be moving into a very constructive part of your chart on the 6th. For you, the 5th house is where you can be very much more outgoing, dynamic, even charismatic in the following 6 weeks. And Mars forges a hugely dynamic link to Uranus in your sign, but also Pluto in your sister air sign of Aquarius. So that air energy of Mars arriving in Libra can really help you to share your ideas with a great deal of conviction. What's not to like? Well, it's just that Mars goes exactly opposite Saturn and Neptune. And you could actually experience some real resistance. And with Mercury retrograde, therefore, someone, however much you try, may not receive the message as you mean. So care and not rushing things is important. Also, there is a full moon on the 9th, and it's a full moon in your sister air sign of Aquarius, which is emphasizing the 3rd, 9th axis in your situation. So you could find yourself discussing a contract, a travel plan, or having a discussion where your views don't marry with someone else that you're having that debate with. And that can create some frustration. But just know, from the 11th, Mercury goes direct. It won't necessarily be a complete panacea. It has been in retrograde since July the 18th, and it won't emerge from the post-retrograde shadow until the 25th of this month. But generally speaking, things should pick up. Ideas can be crisper. The exchange between people just seems to be that much more easy to have. But Mercury going direct in the sign of Leo is still a sign which is very much to do with where we attach our pride, if you like. So if you get too caught up on your ideas, the energy from the full moon, which is still cascading from the 9th for 2 weeks, could still cause some issues, not least because there is a T-square with Black Moon Lilith at that time. So whatever you're desiring and thinking about, 3rd, 9th house, or discussing, just be conscious of not rushing the process. But certainly from the 8th to the 10th, that glittering grand air trine between Uranus and your sign, which is pushing you to be more daring, to break free of any inhibitions that you've experienced in recent years with Uranus in your 12th house. Pluto in your 9th could see you thinking about travelling, higher education, sharing ideas to a wider audience. If you are interested in publishing in any shape or form, this can be a sensational time. And Mars in Libra is asking us all collectively to be much more conscious of the concept of fairness. But I think for you, one of the juggles you may have is if you do find yourself heading in a new bright direction, the Saturn-Neptune conjunction means that certain friendships you've had in the past could feel that they're not quite as relevant in your situation as they have been. But I feel that things will settle a little bit. You can have that stroke of serendipity from the 9th through to the 15th. But I have to say, if you have been on any kind of diet, you are going to find it very hard to stick to it across those days. If you are invited to any nice parties or gatherings where there's some lush food, that may be hard to resist. But on the 22nd, a really key day. Things slow down somewhat with the sun moving into the part of your situation to do with your home and emotional life, but it does clash with Uranus, newly arrived in your sign. If there has been some expectations around your family life that you've generally tended to be a very obliging around, you may find a much more rebellious part of your nature starts to come out. There could be some turbulence too on the new moon of the 23rd. Now that of course is a time to set our intentions. If you want to move, you want to improve, this is an important time. But if you're living in a situation which is too cramped, too big, too small, wrong environment, Uranus being in a square is going to see you take some potentially radical and fast action to change the status quo, and someone around you, someone close to you, may find that actually quite hard to keep up with. But on the 25th, if you do need to have a conversation with anyone and reassure people, Venus moving into the sign of Leo and into your third house will certainly help you to soothe and smooth. And also, if you have got ideas that you feel are very exciting, that's an opportunity at the end of this month to get those across in a very compelling way. But you may find yourself chatting to someone, perhaps online if you're single, as Venus reaches an exact opposition with Pluto as the celestial curtain comes down on this month, who you find very, very interesting, very intriguing indeed. But do you truly, or will you truly know what that person is about and what their motives are? The Pluto energy could see that somewhat hidden, or you may find that you have a meeting of minds with someone, or you're hugely attracted to someone and then find that their value system clashes bitterly with yours. But what do you do if you do find them so physically attractive that your pulse is racing, even if in another way they're a big turn off? That kind of thing is possible as this month draws to a close. So the potential for good fortune is definitely there this month. The potential to showcase brilliant ideas you've got is there, but also the potential for things to go awry by having too higher expectations, rushing the process, and also getting into conflict with people who see things in a different way. So patience will be important, but I think that crucial last 10 days of August could see you feeling more unsettled at home, or if you work in an environment which you don't really like, or the atmosphere is not very good with the people you're with, you're going to find yourself much more open to some kind of sudden liberating change than you have been for some time past. With year 2025 absolutely racing by, you can order your year 2026 natal forecast now, and I'll give you the rest of this year free, but also 30% off and your life roadmap report, the most important document any of us can ever read, helping to give us searing insights into the life patterns that have played out so far, but a much more intimate understanding of how to work with those energies future forwards. Please see the link below for more.